Guys? Okay, can you please stop what you're doing and be focused here? Good morning. Oh, it's cold in your classroom. I hope you have enough jackets. It's really like chilly here. Good to see you again. I hope you had a chance to look at the video that Ms. Gerbig shared with you about the whole process of the course selection. Today I will just emphasize some part of that presentation, and I will want to answer any questions you still have about the whole process. So as you know, like we have 3 pathways at the school, which means first that we are all, like I told you, like as a class, we have this common experience, and then depending on whatever is important to you or whatever you have for passion, you can do that. So what we have all in common, what we will all do next year and in 12th grade, is that we will all work towards the RAS, High School American Diploma. So everybody is doing that. Then we all study in the same courses, so that you're in pathway 1, 2, or 3, you take the same classes, which are an IBDP level classes, right? And then everybody takes 6 courses in the 6th subject level of IB. It means that everybody has a balanced kind of curriculum. High school is not made to become specialist. Yeah, if you like sciences, maybe you take 1 extra science, but you want to keep it balanced so that you are, afterwards, you can do whatever you like. You don't want to start to do business in high school. You have all the university to do that, right? So right now you just try to have the most general foundation so that you can go anywhere you want to go. To specialize too early is not a good idea. Then we all study TOK, which is Theory of Knowledge. So that's a class of IB, and that's, for the people who may know the French system, in Terminal there is philosophy, so it's not philosophy, but it's really about thinking about knowledge, like how do we know what we know, so it's really about what are you doing as a student, learning, so what does that mean, this all learning and this all knowledge, so it's a reflection about that. And then everybody will do some kind of community service, because Ross really believes in that we are not just here for ourselves, but to try to help others. So depending on what pathway you do more extensive community service.
Like what?
Oh, you will see. Miss Carson, Le Master has been here?
Yeah.
Already? Okay, so she's the one who coordinates the whole CAS project and community service.
So they'll be here for next year.
Community service like in Morocco or in the school? Like helping the school clean up their dirt?
No, you could do any kind of project. Again, it's like for some people who wants to do, you can do project inside the school, or you can do project outside of the school, like cleaning up a beach, right? Or anything that you can help community, our local community, not just our school, could be also our school community. Community service could go, tutor some kids in one subject that you're good at, or anything that helps others, right? Could be inside our school, outside our school. Can even be like international, if you want to fundraise money for an organization. So that's what we have in common. And then the details about, this is not my computer, the details of the different pathway. So the pathway 3, Neil, Ryan, attention, Neil.
Right.
Hello. Okay, pathway 3 is the old IBDP program. So you prepare the RAS diploma and the IBDP. Do you know what it means, IBDP?
Yeah.
International Baccalaureate.
Okay, IB, International Baccalaureate, DP, Diploma program, right? So that's the old abbreviation that we have. So if you do that, and that's what I was talking a bit about last time, you will need to take 3 courses at the HL level, right? HL means higher level. And it means that you spend more time in those classes and that you go more in depth. And then you will do what we call in IB the core. One moment, I will answer the question after, okay? Keep it, or write it down so that you don't forget it. So the core is the TOK, so the theory of knowledge class, the service, and the extended essay. Extended essay. I think I told you already, it's one of my favorite things. It's really where it's the best preparation for university because it's an independent research project that you have to do. It's over a year, it's in grade 11 that you do that. And you start in October, and at the end of the year, it's almost done. You have the summer to finish it up. And you have to write a 4,000 words essay where you do it on your own. There is no class for that. You just have an advisor. So you have to organize the whole thing independently. And it's really the best preparation for university. What is it,
Like,
right?
what do we do in the exams? We just research whatever we want.
In subject area, so if you like biology, you will ask a question and your advisor will be the biology teacher. So it's...
And it's over the whole year.
Yes. But the challenge is to organize your time. To make sure that, and we help you because there are deadlines along the way. But it's really learning to really manage a whole project on your own. Having just an advisor that helps you maybe finding some resources about your project, doing some, if you do something in sciences, how do you collect database and how do you present them? But basically you have to organize all your work. Is it about the E?
No, yeah, but the extended essay.
Okay, yeah.
So it's due at the beginning of 12th.
Yes. When we come back from the summer, it's done.
So what?
So you do it-
come back like the first
Yes.
day.
Yes. So it's really an 11th grade, because again, like we have 2 years, which we don't want to do everything in 12th grade, otherwise it's becoming overwhelming. So that's why we have an internal assessment calendar where we plan over 2 years the different things that you need to submit to IB. Make sense? Okay. So, and then everybody takes the RAS final exams, and in May of your grade 12 you take the examination.
Wait, you take 2 exams in your top?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's, Ryan, it's a great, so the RAS final exam are always in grade 11 and 12, the same kind of format as the IB exam. So it's a preparation. So it's not a random exam, it's really the format that you will have at IB, they will be in your RAS finals. I take questions after. Can you keep your questions so that I have a chance to go over the details for the people who maybe could not understand all those acronyms? So you need to take 6 courses, 1 in each subject group. Here are the 6 subject groups we are talking about. Language A, language acquisition, individual societies, environmental science, math, and then art. Or if you like sciences, you can double up in sciences. If you like individual and society, you can double up there. So here, group 6, what we call electives, that you can double up in some of the other subjects. Does it make sense? Yeah? So the difference between HL course and SL course, as you can see, is really the time that you spend in your class and the depth that you research those subjects. And the kind of liking, passion that you have about those subjects. And then the assessment for the diploma, 70 to 80% is external assessment, meaning are exams that you will take in May. And then the other ones are what we call internal assessments, so work that you do in schools, inside the schools, and that you teach your grades, and they send the grades. And then the grading, like we have at first, so the grading in each subject is from 1 to 7. So in total you can get, look math people, 6 subjects with 7 points, 42 points, and for the core, what is the core again? Extended essay, TOK, and CAS. Excellent. You get 3 points. So in total, you can have 45 points. Okay? You could have 45 points if you get max points in each subject. The minimum to pass is 24. And, like I was telling you the other time, 12 points must be in HL courses. That's why I insisted last time. Very important how you choose your HL course, right? You have to be very strategic there. And then DSM. Make sense? Yes? Oh, that's mine. So that's the details. You look hopefully at the presentation and you have a sense, you have been looking at those details. And then pathway 2 is that you do also the RAS high school diploma, but you don't do all the exams in all the subjects for the IBDP. So you just pick and choose. For instance, for some university, you may need to have a certificate from IB in science, right? Or in math. So you can pick and choose the certificates from IB that you want to have. You don't do the whole diploma together. And then TOK, like I said, it's our common experience, some service work, and then the final examination. And then the pathway 1, you prepare your RAS high school diploma, and you really focus there. You know, for some kids who want, it's better to have strong grades. If you feel that you can't manage that many work, or that you want to put some emphasis in your sport or in drama or whatever your passion is, sometimes it's just better to focus on doing well in what you can achieve, right? And so you can take the courses in SN at SN level, you do the TOK with all your classmates, you do some service, and the final examination. Yes? Okay, so I hope you had a chance to look at the presentation that Ms. Gerbeck sent to you. I'm happy to send that presentation again, and right now to answer any question you still have. Yeah.
So you said you can get 3 points from JPA and CAS and the extended essays. So if you do them all, when you do them all, you just automatically receive a point for each?
There is a matrix. In TOK. In CAS is that either you complete or you don't complete the CAS program. And then in TOK and extended essay, you receive a grade, and depending, there is a matrix around that to determine if you get 1, 2, or 3 points, or 0, which would not be a good idea because you would not pass it. Yeah? Yes?
Yeah.
Fine.
So, what I understand the difference between pathway 2 and 3 is that for 2 you only do the IB diploma for certain classes that you choose. That's
It's
the
not
only
called,
difference.
it's called IB certificates.
So you
The
get
diploma is the whole thing. The diploma is if you do, it's pathway 3, if you do all of them.
But you also get certificates. So instead you get certificates for all the classes. Or no, it says diploma. It tells you you did everything.
Yes. Diploma says that you have done, that you have completed all the requirements.
Oh,
Yes?
but
And
that's
the
the
fact-
only difference between 2 and 3.
2 and, yeah, and you get certificates. You can choose, if you do pathway 2, you can choose to take, you don't need to take 3 HL course, for instance. Right? You can take SL course or SL courses and then choose to do some certificates in those classes. Yes? Yeah.
For the
What is your name?
Jody,
Jody. Nice to meet you, Jody.
for the mock exam,
For the what?
for the mock exam,
Yeah.
in 12th grade, if you get above a 5 on the mock exams, you need to do the IX exam for all of them.
You can choose to not do that. We have this agreement with the students. Yes, if you at the mock exam, we're still far away from that. But at the mock exams, if you get a 5, you can not take the final examination. But most of our students actually do take the final examination just because it's practice for the May exams. Like I said, like RAS examination in grade 11 and 12 is the same format that what you will have at the IB exam. So it's an extra practice that you get. And you can choose to keep the best grade that you get. So you have nothing to lose, basically. Yeah.
So if you get more than a 5 on your mock exams and you still take the RES final exams, which will be practice, the grade that you can get on RES final exams, what will they be used for?
Can I answer that? Because you guys are
Sure.
way ahead of yourselves.
Exactly.
And right now, that's the policy is, and the reason the policy came about was when we first moved to RAS final exams and the IB diploma, it was a lot of exams. Right? You had your mocks, and then 5 weeks later, you were doing RAS finals, and then you had to do IB finals, which a lot of schools do, by the way. But we decided, as a school, that if you did your mock exams and you got 5 or over, you can waive that mark, meaning that you don't have to write the RAS final. We will take that mark and put it in its place. Remember, the RAS final is 20% of your final grade. But the gift to you is, if you decide that you want to do the RAS final for more practice, and you get say you get a 6, then you take the best of both marks, so you take your 6. So I can tell you, from the last 3 years we've had this policy, I've only had one kid in one subject not double write the RAS final. And I think she got a 7 or a 6, right? Every kid does both of them because it's such a gift. And you might, you're practicing, you're trying to revise anyway, there's no risk, and so kids do that. Okay, but that's like, oh, you're already writing about finals, and you haven't even registered your courses yet. Wow, you guys are forward thinkers, right?
Yeah, at this point, I think your job is really to think with your family and your teachers about what is the best choice in terms of course selection. Don't think the things will come along the way. That's why I'm here. That's why you teachers are here to support you, and we are here to support you. So at this point, it's really for you to pick the right one, the subject and the subject level where you feel you can do your best, right? And if you have a doubt, please come talk to me. Please come talk to your teachers, to Ms. Gerbeck or Ms. Milligan. I'm sure will be also happy to answer any questions. So at this point, really, your worry is to make the right choice of courses. And for that, really, to hear all what your teacher have to say about the courses, look at the curriculum maybe, and or something before I go, because I'm already late for my next session, something super important. Your IB years are not starting on September. Your IB years are starting now, starting to be in the mindset of I'm preparing for that. This is my challenge and my mission for the next 2 years. And the summer work. Summer work is always important, but in IB years, if you don't do your summer work properly, not just do it by checking the box. Like if you have book to read, don't just read the summary, read your books. And take the time to do that, because if you start not doing proper work with summer work, you will need already to catch up. Right? So summer work, now it's starting already. Okay, so try to be in the mindset. This is for the next 2.5 years. It's like, it's your pathway, it's what you're doing with your life. Okay? Okay. Thank you. And let me know. Don't hesitate, you know where I am. And when you send me an email and I can meet with you at Lion Time if you have any questions.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about alternative programs. Now, within the IB, one thing, and I'm sorry I didn't hit the beginning of that presentation, but no matter what pathway you're on, we're all IB students, and it's your IB journey. And your pathway can change. For example, I just had a grade 11 that didn't want to do economics HL anymore. And that would have meant she wasn't a diploma candidate, a pathway 3 candidate. She went home, talked to her mom, did some research about what universities that she was applying to, and said, you know what, that's fine. I'm good with that. I'm going to get my, I meet university criteria. I just don't really want to do HL economics. And so she's now pathway 2. So don't put in your mind that you're choosing 1, 2, 3, and it's a journey. And kids kind of, as long as you start pathway 3, you can't start 1 in HL courses and then decide I'm going to do the diploma. But we do some moderation as you go through the journey. Does that make sense? So just so you know, currently in the grade 11, there's 7 students that are not working towards the full diploma out of, how many kids, 30? So there are a number of kids that choose not to do the full diploma for various reasons, and that's okay. Because, you have to decide what's good for you, what you want to focus on, what your interests are, what your strengths are, and kind of what that next step in college might look like, okay? And where you want to attend. If you're attending Canada and the US, you don't necessarily need a diploma. But if you're going to Europe, absolutely. So those kind of things, right? So that's kind of what you're going to talk about when you register. So I just want to make sure that was clear, because I'm pretty passionate about that. You're all IB students, and you're all on an IB journey, and it might change and shift and as we move forward. Okay, so don't get too hung up on, oh my God, my one, my two, am I the only one? That kind of stuff. Because some kids get anxious about that. Okay? Alternative programs. There are some kids that are on alternative programs. The first one being Pamoja. So Pamoja is an online IB course provider. And currently we have 3 grade 11 students that have been approved to do Pamoja. We have one doing Mandarin, Abanishu, and we have, actually we have 4, but 1 left. We have one doing Spanish B, that's not available here. And we have 2 girls doing psychology, right? And so Pamoja works that if you, it's not an a la carte menu, so don't please go to the Pamoja website and go, oh, look at all these great courses, I'm really just interested in this, and I'm Miss Mulligan. It doesn't quite work that way. It's not an a la carte. We offer this and you can take this. But if you're really interested in something like psychology and you think, I'm going to do psychology, or I want to see if that's my major for university, and I don't have a chance to experience that, and I know I'm a hard worker, my grades are good, I'm an independent worker, I'm going to make a presentation to administration to see if I can get approved to do that online. Okay? And that has happened. Or, maybe a second language that you can access here. They only do Mandarin and Spanish B. There's nothing else really. So the courses are limited there. So if you are interested, business, they do a business course, and they offer a philosophy course that we've had a student do a few years ago. So if you can make a case of why it's very important for you to do it, and that you are a student that we have a true record of being independent, because it's an independent online course. I'm the Pamoja supervisor. You can look at that. And if you're interested, I don't have any packets ready, but maybe by the end of this week, stop by my office and get a package, and then you can look through it for the weekend, okay, before you start thinking about courses. Does that make sense? You can do 1 Pamoja course. That's it. And like I said, it's special consideration. Okay, so why is it important, to me, and, that I take something that's not offered here, and also that history of being really independent and self-motivated student. Okay? Questions about Pamoja? There is a cost. It's quite expensive. It's about $1,600 a course, US dollars, so that's the other consideration. Okay? And that's all on you. That's not, the school doesn't pay for that. The second alternative programs that we offer is for Pathway 2 or 1. So you're not doing the full diploma program. Pamoja is only offered for full diploma candidates. If you're not a full diploma candidate, and say you're a student that just says, when you start registering and you go, oh gosh, my last choice is history or chemistry, and I don't think I can be successful in either. I don't want to do 2 years of chemistry or 2 years of history. Sometimes that's how the scheduling works, right? This is the last courses available, or art, right? We do have kids doing online courses through Virtual Learning, which is a high school in Boston, or an online high school in Boston. So we have had kids do, we have 4 kids right now. So they do things like entrepreneurship, personal finance. We had a student who's doing American popular music right now, of course, American popular music. What else? Something about international business. There's a law and business course. So if you're really keen on a certain field, you're Pathway 1 or 2 student, and you're like, I don't want to do chemistry. I don't want to do art. I'm really interested in business, and I want to look at maybe taking this course. It is American credit, and so there's a small charge, not as expensive as Pamoja. It's about $500 a semester, and you get a transcript from Virtual High School, and it gets attached to our transcript, and we take that credit as your graduation requirements. So some of your elective credit. So again, if you think that you might be somewhat interested, or you want to have a conversation with me when you're registering, that I just don't think I can do Group 6 with these 3 courses offered, and I don't think I'll be successful, come and let me know. Or I'm just really interested in something else, let me know, okay? And then we do offer that for Pathway M2, because it's not an IB, you would not fulfill the IB diploma by doing that. Now I know that's kind of maybe a little bit, and I don't have any visuals to show you, but just kind of keep that in mind as you register. I will have some Pamoja booklets ready by the end of the week. If you want to grab it and take a look and decide if this might be something you want to apply for, then we can go through that process, okay? Any quick questions?
I have a question about like the classes. What if there was like too many kids that apply for the class? Like say example, like too many kids, like the whole like too many kids like they apply for global politics. What do you do then?
We would split it. We would split the class. We would offer 2 sections. I haven't had that yet. Global politics is by far our most popular group 3. Right now in grade 11 we have 15 kids. You guys are a small cohort. There will only be one global politics, I'm sure. For example, it's like if all of you had to decide on global politics, then we might have to split it. But I don't think that's going to happen. And maybe get 2 new kids coming in. That one's global politics too, so it'll be one section. We really work hard because once I get your registrations, I build the schedule and we do our best to make sure that you get all your choices. That's why right now there's like 2 sections of history with 2 people in it. I don't know if you know that in grade 11. And it was just trying to get those kids their choices. So we created a whole section. That's how we create second sections. It's more I want economics and history, I want global politics and history, but global politics is one, so we got to split the history up kind of thing. Yeah.
So what
I'm
changed?
like breathless. Sorry, I feel like I need more caffeine or something. Go ahead. Sorry, it feels grumpy.
What changes? So if you take a course and then for your 11th grade you have a teacher and the next year that teacher leaves, what really changes?
That's a great question because we're going to have that too this year. We still have the same curriculum, and the teacher ahead, like economics or history, will have already chose the topics you do if you have additional topics, or they'll choose the novels that you do for language. And so what really changes is the teacher. But the course content, the work studied, the IAs sometimes have to change too, right? Your IA in language might start with Miss A, but go to Mr. Blah, who takes over. So, but teachers are really good at managing that transition. Yeah. The other thing that's really important, and I don't think this might apply to you, but if you know that there's a possibility that you're going to transfer schools at the end of grade 11, make sure you sing that loud and clear in registration. Because switching IB programs is super difficult in different schools. And so that's something we'd have to start looking at the beginning, like now, talking to your other school and saying, and trying to make a program that would be consistent. It's a horrible situation. So if that's even a possibility, make sure that you mention that in registration. Okay? Yep.
When do we get our registration form?
Miss Gerbic has them. And what happens after this week is that her and Miss Gerard will sit down with you individually. Her is the college counselor and Miss Gerard is the IB teacher, IB DP coordinator. And they will talk about your choices, your grades, your teacher recommendations, where you want to go to college, and they will try with you to build the best program. But I kid you not, really think about your HLs, because kids that don't get the diploma really boils down a lot of times to their HLs. Because that making 12 and that you have to pass each one, you can't get a 2, is super, super important. And we have kids that don't get a diploma, that's the main reason. So make sure with your HLs, you choose something you're passionate about, that you want to do more work in, get deeper. Don't choose, higher level math because my dad says I should do it, but I hate math and I'm not going into engineering, that kind of thing, right? So really think about those HLs because those are the ones that are really, really important. I mean, they're all important, but the HLs tend to, you're gonna invest 90 additional hours of class time in your HLs. That's the difference, right? and you're gonna have to probably do another project or another topic, and so make sure that there's things that you really want to do, okay? The last thing is, and I don't know if they told you this or not, you're not signing up for the rest of your life when you meet with them next week. I know Mrs. Gerard said, it's your future. It is your future, but we do make changes. So if you get into economics, for example, and that first month, you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize economics was this boring. How am I gonna survive 2 years of economics? I think I'm gonna have to I don't know, run away, I don't know. Come and see me, because we do make changes, especially by November, 1st of November, okay? So try it out for a few weeks. If it's not working for you, I make the changes. So you come and see me, and we'll talk about, can you join another course, what are you missing, that kind of stuff.
If we have additional changes, questions about just the IB and what to choose for HLs, could you guys come and talk to me?
Absolutely. You guys are always welcome to come and talk to me about IB or course selections or alternative programs or anything you like. Because it's a big decision. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's scary, more than exciting, but
It's good.
when would it be better? Because I have some questions and it's just I'm really busy.
Yeah, just drop me an email when you're available or you want to come in and we'll make an appointment.
Well, because I still got a little bit confused about the difference of certificates in pathway 2 and 3. With the IB diploma, is all the certificates in one?
The IB diploma, you have 6 subjects. You write your IB exams in all 6 subjects. You do your extended essay and you do the full CAS program. For pathway 2, you can write 1 IB exam or 5 IB exams, but you don't write all of them.
Well, the certificate that we get at the end.
So the certificate, so for example, you have a student that is going to write Bio HL, but it's a pathway 2 because she likes bio and she does pretty well at bio, and she's like, because I'm doing the course, I'm gonna write the certificate, okay? So you just come in for 1 IB exam. You write bio. When IB releases its results in the summer, you get what's called a certificate. You can take that when you apply to universities and say, I'm applying with my American transcript, but I have a certificate in IB Bio, HL. And they might say, that's great. Guess what? You don't have to do your first year science. We will give you 3 credits for bio, because you've already done a college level bio course. So it saves you time at university, and it can save you money. So some students will write 1 or maybe 2 exams. So when they apply to university, they can say, I have these certificates, and see if the university will give them course credit. Okay, that's why you would do it. Does that make sense? And then some kids in Pathway 1 just take all SLs and they just write the rest final. So the only difference with 2 is you're writing an IB exam. If you're on Pathway 2, you don't have to do the extended essay as well. 1 and 2, you don't have to write the essay. And you don't have to do the full CAS program. You have to do 2 service experiences in grade 11 and 2 service experiences in grade 12 to graduate. So you'll still be in the CAS class and you'll do a couple service experiences, but you don't have to do the full program. Okay? Well, you volunteer, right? So you volunteer, you help out at Fun Day, or you help with this drive of clothes for this organization. Yeah.
So we also have to start seeing universities to know what classes we're gonna take. What is the best way to know what universities want? Is there a difference in what classes you take that they're HL or SL? How do we know that?
Yeah. Well, the rule of thumb is this: unless you're going into engineering or some really high-tech STEM program, the university in Canada, you just need your transcript. Your bio choices aren't as important, because in U.S. and Canada you do a year of general studies. You have a year of studies and then you major, unless you're going into engineering or some STEM, really strong STEM program. Okay. Rule of thumb, give or take. The UK, absolutely it matters. Okay. And so we have something. This is my favorite tool. You're applying to the UK. We have something called the HEAT guide, and you can go, I want to take law, and it shows all the UK universities and what you need to get in. Oh, I need to do English and HL, and I need to have a 5. They're very, very specific. And so depending where you're studying, it might really matter. Really matter. And so that's why Ms. Gerbic is part of those conversations, to help you make sure that you have that information.
So basically, like, we need to start, like, I know that many teachers said it, but, like, we really need to start, like, thinking about what we want to do in our life.
Yeah.
No,
That's a very, you don't need to. You don't need to know for sure what you want to do. Unless you're really sure that you want to do engineering in the US or Canada. But even if you didn't, say I wasn't sure, you can still do a year at university and go, oh, I'm really liking this engineering, and apply to change halfway through. So it's not like that really. You know what I mean? For direct entry to some programs and countries, if you're really set on law, yeah, do some research about what you need to do. But if you're going into, University of Canada or somewhere that you're going to have a year general studies, you'll have to decide, am I going to go to the science faculty or the language or the humanities faculty? It will be your big choice. And I think most of you will say, I'm sciencey and I want to do something in science. Or a lot of you will say, I'm a little more artsy. I like reading and research and history and this. But you can always switch even when you're in university. So no pressure. It's not like you have to decide today, I'm going to be a nurse and I'm going to love nursing and I'm never, and if it doesn't work out, you're dead. No. You can always change, even in university. Okay? Where are you thinking of going? Where are you going back to Europe?
Right now, my options that I'm interested in, I was taking psychology.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to take the online course because, like, I talked about it and feel like Emily went up to me and talked to me about it. But I was afraid that I would get that I was gonna have a bad experience online, and then I was just gonna cross it out of the way. So I just decided to just stay general, and then once I go to college and stuff, I'll just.
Yeah, perfect. And you know what? The majority of kids that apply to university don't know what they want to do. They get in there undecided. It's called you apply and you're undecided. The majority of kids do that. I would say 85-90% of kids just apply undecided. So you have lots of company. Because you're not, you're still learning about yourself, what you're interested in. And until you're on campus and get to experience different things, you might totally change your mind. Yeah.
Wait, just two questions. So
It's break time, so if you'd like to leave, please go ahead. Is it break time? Oh no, then don't leave.
So pathway 3 minimum of 3 HL, pathway 1 all SLs, what about pathway 2? All SLs as well? Or
Yeah, you can. You can have all SLs and do an IB exam and be pathway 2. That's why I said don't get wrapped up in the pathways. Just think about what courses, if you want to do the full IB diploma or not. And if not, do you want to try a few courses in the HL? And if not, then apply all SLs and decide as you go, maybe even in grade 12, I'm pretty good at this little politics thing. I think I'm going to write the IB exam and get a certificate.
you can get an IB certificate for SL classes. No.
Yes, you can. You can get an IB certificate for SL. You can get an IB certificate for CAS. It costs you $25. And if you're doing the CAS program anyway, you might as well apply. You can get an IB certificate for TOK. And some universities will give you philosophy credit for it. And everybody in this room has to take TOK. I guess that makes you pathway 2. I don't know. Just decide. Am I doing the full diploma? If not, am I doing any HL courses? If not, eventually someone will say, do you want to write an IB exam? Yes, I do. I've decided. Or no, I don't. People change all the time. I've had a kid that did the full IB program, signed up for all the IB exams, 2 weeks before IB exam said, I don't want to be pathway 3 because I found this really cool program that I won't get into if I'm an IB program. And so we actually withdrew one of her IB exams, and she became, I guess, pathway 2 2 weeks before the exams because she found something she wanted to do.
How did she?
She did great. Yeah.
So if I want to do pathway 3, I can have at the end of 12th grade my IB diploma,
Yeah.
a certificate for CAS, and it's okay.
Yes. Well, you have to have. It won't be. It will still be the IB diploma as part of your CAS and TOK. Yes. And when you apply, you have 2 ways to get university admittance. But the IB diploma is really good, even if you're going to the U.S. and Canada. Because if you can, and if you do the IB diploma, you go to some states like Florida, they will give you a year off. You enter sophomore year. Your 4-year university program is now 3 years. Saves you time, saves you money. Okay, lots of schools. Concordia in Montreal will give you a semester off. Is a semester a full year? Give you a chunk of credits so you have sophomore status. Saves you time and money. So if you, even if you're going to US and Canada, think about it. You can free up some time. Yeah.
So if I take, like, I'm gonna take the full IB, but if I chose to take the pathway 2,
Mhm.
would universities kind of like look at it like you didn't take the full IB?
Nope.
So it still has its reputation. It's still.
Yeah, especially in the US and Canada, what happens is if you do the full IB diploma, they'll use that first for university admission. And I've had this happen. And say there's a few kids that bomb their exams. And they've got an offer that says, yeah, we'll take you, and they don't do well, or they don't get the diploma at the end of the exams. We then contact them and say, can you please use the transcript? And sometimes they get university based on the transcript, because that's the other way in. But what you're saying is, especially in the US and Canada, IB is considered, it's not as, here everyone's doing IB. There, they're not. In Canada and the US, you're not. It's very, very few, actually. So what they'll do is they'll see it as an above. So then they start talking about credits they will give you. If you want to go to McGill, for example, an IB diploma, you need 36 as an IB diploma. Their transcript, they would calculate our transcript into a percentage. But you could use either one or both. So with Ms. Gerbic, and I hope what she does, I did this as a college counselor, is we see which qualification should we use. There's a couple of times we haven't sent IB predicted grades because they didn't have value. And we were worried that you may not get a spot, so we used the transcript. So we do weigh about what we send and how we leverage what we got. But we got 2 things to leverage, right? So your question is yes and no, but not to get you in the door. It's about what they'll offer after. But it's not the gateway into the door. Does that make sense? Because if you met the requirements, why wouldn't they offer you a spot? And the fact that you even do some certificates might make you a little bit more than someone that has the same profile. So here's student A, say they went to a Canadian high school, here's student B, you get a US high school, but you have some certificates. If there was like a fight for the spots, it might help you. It might leverage it a bit. So do what you can and challenge yourself for sure, because it does pay off. But it doesn't necessarily get you in the door. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Lots of kids don't do IB and they have wonderful university careers, even at Harvard and Stanford, right? So, yeah.
When is like the maximum deciding date for our pathway degree?
November 1st of your grade 12th year.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I said. You can still try it out and change. So the absolute last drop dead date, or when you're going to be in a stickly situation to try and change, is after November 1st of you start grade 11. Grade 11. But I've had kids change at the end of grade 11, even a math, because they're not doing well in math and change. So we always look at it a case-by-case basis, because we want to support you guys to get through with the best way forward all the time, right? You been listening to people talk? Anytime, if you want to talk to me, anytime you want to make an appointment, just email me. But you're good friends.
Should I be significantly worried right now?
Yes.
Basically now we're just choosing our classes for what we want to do